Okay, take 3. This will be the third time that we've recorded this. First time I deleted it. Second time I lost my mind. So we're going to be running through this. And here we go. This is the In the Middle podcast. And In the Middle podcast is brought to you by your middle school DLSs. My name is Chad Cochran. I'm the DLS for Hoffman, Garcia, Drew, Shotwell. I think that's it. Did I miss one?
I think you got them all.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think so.
And with me is
Anne Waite, the liaison for Aldine Middle, Grantham, Hambrick, Meade, and KEC.
And Hosea Pipkins, liaison for Plumbers, Stovall, Lewis, Teague, and Jones.
So what we're going to do with this podcast is we're just going through the s'more that Ann Waite sent out, and that is in your email. As you can see, I've even taken a screenshot of that email. You should have gotten that. It comes from Ann Waite, and it says s'more, and it is in the middle. And what is in the middle? In the middle has a bunch of stuff that we want you to make sure you are informed about so that you can teach your classes the best you can digitally. The first thing we're going to talk about is Google Meets, and our coordinator of multimedia and events, Joshua Hicks, has recorded a quick video to give you some screencasting tips. And man, does he really want those views to jump on up. So why don't you go ahead and go in there and click on that video as many times, share it. He's his goal is to get to 67,000 views. So let's help him do that.
Yeah, tweet it, whatever.
Yeah, tweet it, Facebook it, however you spread your media. But there's some good tips in there, and kind of the focus is on your Google Meets rooms. Make sure you are following the district guidelines for your Google Meets room. You're setting that nickname, and you're going in that way so that you can kick kids out. Some more stuff is coming with that, but there are directions in the s'more to talk about that. So make sure you take a good long look at that. And if you are having trouble with your Google Meets, your office hours with your students, please reach out to one of us, and we'll get right back to you on that in a Google Meets.
For sure.
And
yeah.
also, isn't there, once you kick his kid out, they're out for 24 hours?
That's right. Good. Thanks. I said that in the first take. But yeah, once you kick a kid out, they're gone for 24 hours. So they ain't coming back until the next day.
Yeah. Also in the s'more this week, we had some really good information about Chromebook shortcuts. And the first one I have listed in the s'more is a screen reader for the Chromebook. So if the kids press Control-Alt-Z, it's supposed to bring up a screen reader for them. Now, I have no Chromebook here to try that out, so if y'all could test it out and let us know how that functions, that would be great. I've also highlighted some other shortcuts on there, so check that out in the s'more. And also on a Chromebook, if you do Control-Alt ? That will show you the full list of keyboard shortcuts. So check that out and get back to us on how well that works.
Also, let's talk about office hours. We've been asked, when are our office hours? What days are they? We're just going to give you a reminder that our office hours are based on our availability. So in order to know what our office hours are week to week, you need to check your calendars, all right? So if you want to know when our office hours are, this is just a reminder to check your calendars. You do not have to attend office hours, only if you have a question pertaining to some software technology that you are using with the students. Otherwise, you do not have to show up. But if you have any questions, check your calendar for office hours, chime in, and we'll assist.
Yeah, and check that calendar every day, because you never know when we can just kind of at the last minute put some office hours in there. So just be checking all the time.
Yeah, and even if we're not in there, you can always still email us. But it some people really love that face-to-face. Some people just come into our office hours and sit there because we're so entertaining. Or they forget that they came in and they just walk away from their computer. Either way. The grade book is talked about with your grades from Schoology to eSchool. We're not going to talk about that right now because grades were due today. Yeah. So if you are working on them right now, what is that shut off, like 4:20 or something like that? You can go check out that s'more and get some tips if you're stuck on something.
And keep in mind that export-import that we share in there, that's an option. You don't have to do that. If you just want to enter your grades manually, you're more than welcome to.
And I recommend manually. When you import-export, you can only do one at a time. So you can, if it's an assessment, you can only do one assessment, move it over. Yeah. So I totally recommend just going, it's not even old school. You just open up 2 screens, and start typing those grades in. And I know some teachers are going to go, I have 300 kids. You had 300 kids regardless. Even if you weren't using Schoology, you were going to have to take those grades from something and put them into your grade book.
Yeah.
So if you want to use the import export, go for it. If not, just type them in.
Yeah.
I type them in, and I'm the best at everything, so I would follow me.
Of course.
Apparently, like We Video Podcast, I'm really good at that. Take 3. All right, we also have a Google Tip of the Week, and in that Google Tip of the Week, it's talking about how to force a copy link to your students. Am I right?
No, it's just the sharing settings.
Oh my
I believe.
We're going to keep this in. Okay, so for the share, it does deal with if you are forced copying something, but it's just talking about the sharing settings and to make sure that you're not getting those email requests for, I need permission to get into this.
Yeah, make sure they have access.
So take a look at that. Also, something big Jose is going to tell you about again.
Yes, October 24th, TCCA 2020. It will be virtual this year. This is just a reminder. We are still having TCCA. It will be all virtual this year. Look out for the invites. We got some great sessions. Hope to see you there.
And a Brad Kaplan joke, you don't have to worry about parking. Everyone has VIP parking because you can watch it from the comfort of your own home.
It's amazing. And if you have not done so already, make sure you have joined the middle school group in Schoology. So we drop a lot of our training videos there in the resources. There's a lot of stuff in those resources folders, a lot of different folders. So go in there and check that out. If you haven't joined it, the link is there in the s'more.
And always remember that we are here for you. Now, we can't do everything. There's some things that we just can't do. We don't have the power to, but we will try and help you the best way we can with your digital needs. So make sure you are using all those resources, like Ann just said, the Schoology group, the s'more. The s'more is number one to me for hot topics, and how Ann comes up with the topics for the s'more is just what y'all are asking and what's coming up and what are the major issues that we're running into. So it's very today and on topic. So make sure you are checking out those s'mores. Again, we are your middle school DLS team, and that is the end of this podcast. I had an awesome joke on take 1, but I forgot the joke. It was something about don't contact me, contact them. But anyway, we've taken up enough of your time. Next week, we'll have another podcast and another s'more.
See you next week.
Bye-bye.
Peace out.